Okay, when you're reading philosophy, you don't have to write all this down. Basically, read, that's what I put. When you're reading an original work, which we will not do a lot of in here, but your CD-ROM has a lot of different clips of original works. If you want to go into that and just kind of, look around at things, what you'll find is, first of all, you've got translation issues. A lot of these things, most of philosophy is not originally written in English. Okay, so you've got stuff that's getting translated from classical Greek, German, and these other languages that aren't necessarily easy to understand the translations in the first place, and then to be discussing a deep philosophical issue on top of it becomes very complex in the reading. So a lot of times to really get what somebody's saying, it helps to get a commentary. Okay? But a lot of times you have to read it and you read it again to really go back and get what you're trying to glean out of it. And I will assign, there's a reading in the book, an excerpt of Plato I want you to read and try to grapple with Socrates and Thrasymachus going at it. And I want you to read it and you'll see what I'm talking about, that it's kind of difficult sometimes on a first reading to really understand everything. So sometimes you have to go back and your comprehension will be much better the second or third time that you read it. And you'll go, okay, I see what's going on. And you'll get a better grasp of it. So that's why I encourage you, don't throw your hands up the first time you read something. Frederick Copleston, if you do get into commentaries, he's kind of the classic philosophical commentator. He's been around. Copleston wrote stuff for many, many years. He was a Jesuit scholar and just kind of set out to help supplement the philosophy for Catholic clerics, basically, priests and stuff that were studying. They were very big on philosophy and getting a basis in philosophy before they studied theology. So Frederick Copleston is a great guy to reference if you want to get in and really dig into a person's work. I'm not sure what selection they have of Copleston here, but his stuff's not too hard to get. Kind of famous quote from Friedrich Nietzsche: "Philosophical systems are wholly true only for their founders. For all subsequent philosophers, they usually see one great mistake." And what is he saying? What is Nietzsche saying? You wrote philosophy. You think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because, after all, you wrote it, right? Okay, but then people come after you and they read your work, and what do they think about it? Not as great as what you thought. Okay, that's kind of what he's getting at. Is, we come up and we've got our philosophy. Well, it makes sense to us. Well, everybody else should believe this too. And then others come along that have their own belief systems and criticize your work, and they say, well, you're not all that. Is what, that's what it comes to. Okay, I use, like I say, Redneck Philosophy 101, right? That's what we get. Kind of down to earth, break it down to the brass tacks in here. All right, we've got a quiz. Everybody ready? First philosophy quiz. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning? Come on. And he says, this better be multiple choice. Right. So, is the meaning of life multiple choice?
Yes.
Sort of. It's multiple choices anyway, right? You go through life and you wake up every day and you have choices. How many of you think that what you believe is important in life? Is belief important? Do you think it's important?
Absolutely.
Do you think belief's important? Anybody not think it's important?
What kind of belief?
Just belief. Belief in general.
Yeah.
The subjective belief. Do you think that believing something is important?
Yeah,
Important to
because
who? To you?
To anybody.
it's necessary.
Not just to me. It's necessary. I'm going to take you through a little example of how belief affects every single thing that you do in life. Everything that you do. Now, Keyword, do, a volitional act. Okay, an act of the will. All right? Everything you do is affected by your belief. And it starts before you get out of bed in the morning. And I can prove that. How many of you did not believe that you could get up and put your feet on the floor and stand up and get up this morning? You didn't believe that you could? All right. If you did believe that, what would you have done? You'd have laid in the bed. You'd still be in bed now. But see, you believed that you could get up and stand up on your own 2 feet, as you do probably most every day, unless you're deathly ill or something. And you proceed to leave your bed. So belief starts from the second you wake up until you go to bed at night. And sometimes in the middle of the night when you get woke up, right? Have a bad dream. But it affects every aspect of your life. It affects everything that you do. And the reason I say what you do, because that implies that you have chosen, you've made a choice, you've chosen to do something. Not talking about involuntary muscle responses and so forth. Talking about those voluntary muscle responses. Not your heart beating. You don't have to believe your heart can beat for it to beat. It does that on its own. Alright? But you do have to believe that you can get out of bed in the morning in order for you to choose to do that. Okay? So belief is very important. Okay, what time we got? We got time. Let's talk a little bit about some fallacies. A fallacy is a flawed argument in a nutshell. It's a flawed argument. Now, you don't have to well, yeah, you can go ahead and start writing some of these down. An ad hominem, I definitely want you to know that one. An ad hominem, that's where you attack the opponent rather than the opponent's argument. Okay? I'll give you an example. Those Democrats, Republicans, I just throw both out there so that I'm not being biased. Okay? Those Democrats, Republicans, and both of them have had their own little heydays lately. You can't listen to them, or independents, whatever. I guess I could name them all out there. They never get voted for anyway. But those Democrats, Republicans, independents, those guys, they're all liars, and you can't believe anything they say, so don't vote for them. All right. That's attacking the individual, or in that case, the corporate body, the entity, instead of what they have to say. Instead of going, okay, I usually don't like Democrats, Republicans, independents, but this particular guy, he's got something to say. I like what he has to say. Maybe you don't like everything else he has to say, but you like something he's got to say. All right? That's attacking the argument, or listening to the argument, rather than attacking the person. Or you can say, yeah, I really like this candidate. He's a great guy, but man, his belief about whatever is washed up. I can't believe he thinks like that. This is an example of an ad hominem. You're attacking the person. Think of ad hominem like homicide. You're attacking the person, right? Okay. Killing the person. Faulty analogy. This is a misuse of an argument by analogy, which is to argue that two things that are alike in some respects must be like in other respects. So there's a point at which your analogy runs out. You can be comparing two common things, but at some point they're no longer alike, and to continue to use that in your argument is wrong. It's a faulty argument. It's a faulty analogy. Okay? Sometimes we can make analogies in an argument, and it's good, but you can overdo it, and then you're abusing it. Okay? Questionable authority, and this is supporting a conclusion by depending on the judgment of someone who is not a reliable authority on that subject. For example, what's his name? Dr. Phil, right? How's that working for you? I mean, I love the phrase, right? How's that working for you? Is Dr. Phil the guy that you want to get medical advice from? No, it's not his thing. If you're sick and you got cancer, you go to an oncologist, right? You don't go to Dr. Phil, okay? And I'm not sure if he's